Hello friends. So today we are going to learn that how can we use VLOOKUP function in Excel. It's a very useful function and it is used in every corporate offices these days. So I have prepared this sheet to give you the basic understanding of the VLOOKUP function in Excel. So as you can see here we have the definition, the syntax and the basic idea about the VLOOKUP function. So in the definition part, if we go, we can see that VLOOKUP stands for the vertical lookup. So it works vertically only. So similarly, we have the different lookup like the H lookup, which works horizontally. And it's an Excel function which helps in searching a particular value in a column. Okay. So if we go through the syntax, we can see that we have the four parameter inside it. The first parameter is the value, which is the lookup value. So what is the lookup value? So it's basically a value which searches for in an array. An array is just simply a table. So a value, it's like a value on the reference of it. We want to find out the corresponding column values. Then the second parameter is the range. Range is simply a table. The third parameter is the column number. Column number is nothing. It's simply like what in a particular table which column value we want to fetch. So it's simply that. And then we have the fourth and the last parameter, which is the false or the true. So false is for the exact match and true is for the approx match. So one important fact of VLOOKUP is that it only works from left to right. It never works from right to left. And one more thing is it is very similar to left join in a SQL. So always remember that. Okay. So now we are going to see two different application of the VLOOKUP function, and this one is the first application of the VLOOKUP function. So in this scenario, what we are going to do that we are going to apply the VLOOKUP function on the two different Excel file. So on one file we have this table whose column name are like the ID, name and age, and on the second table whose name is the V1 we have this. So here we have this ID name and ID age. So here we are going to apply the VLOOKUP and going to find out the what are the names against 4 ID and against 7 ID. Similarly, what are the age value against the 2 ID and the 3 ID. So how do we apply the VLOOKUP function? As we have seen, as per our syntax, we simply need to put the equal and then VLOOKUP. Sorry, VLOOKUP. And we will find out what is the lookup value. Lookup value here is 4. So on the basis of 4 we are trying to find out the corresponding column values. Now it is asking for the table array. So table array, this is our table. So I'm gonna select this table. So as you can see, this is the first column, this is the second column and this is the third column. So we are going to select the whole table here, and because in that table we only need the name, we are going to choose the second column, which is the name. So by equals to 2 and 0, because we need the exact match. So as you can see, against 4 we have the Sushant. Similarly, we can apply the VLOOKUP function here. Lookup value, table array, and the second value. As we can see, it's on 7 ID it is the code. 7 ID is the code. Same thing when it comes to age, we will apply VLOOKUP function. We'll find out the lookup value, table array. Now in this scenario you can see that we need to find the value of the age, which is the third column. As you can see, it is also showing here the value 3C, 2C, 1Z. So you can get the idea from here as well. So we'll after comma third parameter 3 and then exact match. So it's 24, and then simply we are going to apply the same formula. and it's a 22. So friends, this is the second scenario where we are applying the VLOOKUP function inside the same sheet. So in this scenario, what we are going to see, as you can see that we have created the two different tables. So what happens when we are using the VLOOKUP function in the same sheet, we have to fix the table. The second parameter where we define the array or the table, we have to fix that table. And how can we fix that table? Either by applying the dollar sign or by using the F4. I'll show you all the cases, and I'm also going to show you that how does it work when we are fixing the table and when we are not fixing the table. So it will always going to give you the correct result when we are fixing the table and when we are using only when we are using the VLOOKUP function in a same sheet. Okay, so let's come to this table. So here I'm applying the VLOOKUP, the first parameter which is the VLOOKUP value, the second parameter which is the table, and as I said I have to fix this table, so I'm simply going to apply F4. So did you notice this change that it has applied the dollar sign everywhere, right? And because we have to find out the value name, so we'll choose second column and then exact match. Okay, so it has given me the correct answer. For 7ID, the name is school. Now, if I drag this formula from top to bottom, we can see we are getting the correct result. So for 1ID, it is Rahul. For 5ID, it is Drake. For 6ID, it is Frenzy. And for second, it is Chandan. Now, let's see what happens if we don't apply this F4 functionality or we don't fix the table. Then what happens? So we'll simply again we'll use VLOOKUP, lookup value, and then select the second table and exact match. Now let's see what happens. It has given me the correct result over here, but let's see how does it work for the others. Oh, sorry. So see guys, as you can see, in this case it has given me the NA, which is the value is not available. Similarly, it has given me 2. So always remember, whenever you are using the same sheet for the VLOOKUP functionality, always and always use the F4 or fix the table manually. I hope you must have understood that how can we easily use the VLOOKUP functionality in the Excel, which is so useful in our day-to-day life. So happy learning guys. Thank you.